Morning everybody, Jamie here from the Video Lowdown. Hope you're doing good. Episode 12 this week. We've got a really special one lined up for you this week. No guest this week, but what I do have is to celebrate 3 months of the video podcast being live, the Video Lowdown. I've compiled some kind of best bits over the last 11 episodes. We've had some fantastic guests. Every one of them has been amazing, really free with their time. It's been an incredible learning experience for me, and hopefully for the guests and for you, the viewer, as well. So today we're going to take a couple of minutes from each episode, starting way back with Martin Spenlove in episode 1, all the way through to episode 11. Hope you enjoyed this week's special edition episode, where we look back over the past 3 months of interviews on the Video Lowdown. Enjoy. Fantastic, Martin. And you could argue really that the word disruptive is perhaps not as disruptive as it was like 5 years ago, maybe. There's lots of people that are using that word. So you've kind of created this, you've kind of come up with this creative solution around that word without using the word disruptive. You're actively doing that, but not using that word.
We have changed as professionals from just doing our podcast. We didn't realize there was this many people out there that have such amazing messages, communicate such amazing stories or ideas or whatever. And if you go and look at a lot of other podcasts, now, I'm not going to tie them all with the same brush, and we do it as well. Most people focus on getting those big public speakers, those big like thought leaders, etc. And we're actually trying really hard to just get people that just do the job. So we've got a couple interviews now of like Dominique, who's the head of for the Royal Opera House. Now she went through a kind of crazy court case that was just opened her eyes to how we manage noise at work, and it's just fascinating. She's like many people out there, the ones that are really changing the world because they're doing the real work. So we just wanted to get them on and talk about it. Don't get me wrong, we still have these kind of big thought leaders on, obviously we will, but like I wanted to mix it up. Like we just have Will Fraser, Premiership women rugby player, on the podcast. Now for me, I'm a rugby fan, so that was just massive,
dream come
amazing for me. Yeah, it was awesome, other than the fact he's a Sarries player, but that aside. But there's so much that he can bring from his leadership and culture that we as professionals can learn as well. So the podcast is my baby, man. Like I love the YouTube stuff, but the podcast is like the first child, if you know what I mean.
So you're saying that your first kid is going to be your favourite, and your second, but not as much love, but you still love them. But
yeah, the first kid's on its way, so give me a couple of years, I'll let you know.
Fantastic. Yeah, congratulations, by the way. That's amazing.
And also storytelling for me is really powerful because of the inspiration that it sort of derives. So when people see the results that other people have got with us, that what I always try and do is I want people to believe they can do it as well. And so, I try and be as transparent and real as I can. And we do the same with the videos that we share, is showing that, real people just like you, mums and dads and business owners and professionals, which is who we serve mainly, you can change your life. Or, okay, sometimes that sounds a bit corny or a bit dramatic, but that's really according to how you define changing a life. For some people, just walking up the stairs not being out of breath is quite life-changing. To other people, losing 1 stone or 2 stones life-changing. To other people, it's more like 5 stones. So but we try and use video to inspire people as well as getting the message across. And
I think you do that. I think I've seen testimonials and the content you produce, and you, Matt, doing the Facebook lives and Instagram lives. That's a huge part of your content drive, and I can see that from the content that you produce at LPT. I think a really interesting point you touched on there about storytelling. Video in as a native form of communication is about being able to tell a story, and although you can do that through the traditional methods of like the written word and photography and illustration design, I think how video trumps all of those is that real live interaction, that feeling you get when you see the moving image of somebody talking and how they're feeling and their facial expressions and what they're, what they're saying and the words that they're using. And I think that's the power right there. And I think that translates really well to video testimonials. So I mentioned earlier that my stepson is an avid gamer. I do actually run a channel for him. He's learning all the time. He loves streaming to Mixer. Then I download the video. We sit together, edit the MP4, little intro. Sometimes we get his face cam and we do some stuff. He absolutely loves it. So he's only 11. So obviously, I have to run the channel for him because he's not old enough to actually do it himself. But, obviously the gamers are starting young. He is excellent at most of the games that he plays because, we didn't grow up with the power that the PS4 and Xbox has, for the past kind of few years. So what if you were to give 3 tips to an avid gamer wanting to create YouTube videos, wanting to start out, what 3 things would you suggest that they do?
I would say look at your setup, I guess. You can do it really cheaply and really easily, especially if you're playing a lot of stuff on PC. All you need is a computer and software to capture what you're playing. And you can use your inbuilt mic if you want to do cam. A lot of computers have got built-in webcams now. So just kind of look at what your limitations are and what you can make out of them, really. I would say don't expect to get famous. A lot of kids, they love watching who are the big streamers nowadays? People like Jacksepticeye or PewDiePie, even Markiplier, people like that. And they watch those videos and they expect that they're going to start a YouTube channel and suddenly have 5 million subscribers. I think stay with it and expect that you're probably not going to get famous, but you might build a nice little community about it, which is kind of what I do it for. I do it for making my videos for myself because it's fun to do, but also kind of I know that there's a few people that are going to watch and enjoy it, and someone's going to get a kick out of what I do. And then I would say just practice, I guess. It's
good.
I've done some Let's Plays and stuff before. I do a bit of Twitch streaming. It's really hard because you don't want to distract from what you're playing, so by screaming nonsense and stuff. But you don't want to sit there completely silent because people aren't going to want to engage. You've got to show your personality, show that you can talk about the game, show that you're fun to watch. I don't know anybody who watches stuff on YouTube, like streaming stuff, just because they want to watch the game. It's normally, Markiplier is playing this game. I want to see what Markiplier thinks of that.
The YouTuber.
I mean, there are channels that are quite successful that are literally just like World of Long Plays is one, where it's just like them playing a game. There's no talking, there's no interaction. It's just the footage of the game being played. So it is possible, but if you want to be a streamer, then you need to kind of have that personality.
People in the film industry, I think, we like to talk about our jobs because they're fun, and we like to help other people get into our jobs. I don't know what it is particularly, but I think we have a lot of people who don't need to come and work for us. We have quite small budgets at the moment, but they come because actually they like what we do. They see that the film industry can be hard to get into, and they see that often certain groups in society are not represented, and so they like to come and kind of explain their job kind of back to people and kind of realise how lucky you are really to come and do this for your living. So we're really lucky with people that support us.
See some of the old figures. I think, God, I used to have that Goldberg action figure, and I used to have that little WWF wrestling set. You know what I mean? And I think, God, I got rid of all this stuff like years ago, man. And now you're like reliving many people's childhood as an adult, but you're making a few quid off it, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, the 90s was great for pop culture, was great for gaming, all that sort of stuff. So for me, it's like, I had a great time my childhood playing like with the WWF Hasbro figures, Sega Mega Drive, Master System, SNES, the list goes on, so to relive that and to give the next generation, this is what we did. This is how much fun we had. And also people who grew up with us, our generation, who can relate to it and be like, wow, yeah, I remember that, just like you just said there. So it's basically bringing it to your doorstep to say, look, you know what? There's loads of great stuff out now, but we love the 90s. Do you know what I mean? We love this sort of stuff, and that's what it's all about. That's what Black Hat TV is all about. It's all about expression, you know. It's all about passion, and that's first. That becomes before anything, you know. And with the gaming and with the toys, it's so big now, you know, and a lot of people collect it because it's a thing to do now. YouTube's so big now, and you get great channels like yourself. So what more can you do? Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant.
Oh, and like yourself, man. You know, we're both hustling here. You know, trying to put out good content for an audience that wants it, man. So I mean, you know, fair play. What I find really interesting about what you do is you're not just helping businesses from many sectors. You're helping clients in the same industry. So is that not a bit conflict of interest?
It's a good question. Everybody is unique, and obviously, yes, there may be some overlap in things that they do, but it's important to, you know, learn to focus on the right thing that makes that particular business unique. And obviously, there's different styles of chiropractic, for example. So that's one of the things. You may have blended service, so somebody may do chiropractic and something else that they add into that particular. So they may do a bit of soft tissue work, or they may do trigger point release, or they may do dry needling. You know, so you got people that do use, you know, like a blended mix, if you like, of therapies. So that's obviously quite easy then to differentiate them. With chiropractic, it's a local business. So as long as within your local area you're standing out, then it doesn't really matter so much. And it
doesn't really affect.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect.
Yeah.
I've worked in agencies now for 30 years. Video, film wasn't accessible like it is now. And what I've seen over my working life is how that's now become part of the communications landscape. And it's given us, you know, a whole range of more tools when we're communicating with an audience that we didn't have, you know, sort of 20, 30 years ago. Film was definitely around. It was a thing. However, it was, you know, mainly the preserve of, say, like the advertising industry. And you needed big budgets. If you were going to do any kind of communications video, be it for training, for product information, or advertising, any kind of marketing, I mean, you know, this was the late 80s. It was, you know, the big money was being spent on film. And that put it out of the reach in terms of a communication medium for a lot of people. Certainly when you were talking about how you were going to communicate with your employees.
Yeah,
or perhaps channel. You know, unless you had the big bucks and it was very much above the line advertising, then but I saw that started to change with video becoming very much more for a medium for training and used with that. And then, you know, I can remember when I first started, I started working for a pharmaceutical company, and they had their own in-house studio and an edit suite. Now, to make product films, that then these medical reps would lug portable televisions, which were the size of a suitcase, to show these video cassettes to, you know, doctors and medical people. So, you know, it was incredibly expensive to do anything like that. You know, you look at how you edit film now. You would have had to hire an edit suite, you know, which would have cost you thousands. So,
well, it's so throwaway now as well, which it wasn't then. You know, it's really throwaway now because everything's digital, everything's done online with backups of recordings, everything's digital. There's no tangible, apart from the kit that you used to film on, there's no the files themselves, and the deliverable is not a tangible thing, whereas it once was. Everybody's now connecting with Zoom, with Microsoft Teams, with all these video, Skype, all these video apps where you can just, you know, I'm FaceTiming my mum every other day so she can see little Henry, a grandson. And you think, you know, because it's just, I never did it as much before, even being a video producer, since the start of lockdown. I think everybody maybe is thinking the same thing, and I think we'll all keep doing it now. Now we realise how good it is.
Yeah, we always done a lot of telephone advice. And we usually try and meet the client for the initial, just the initial appointment. And that's more about face-to-face contact. We have to match the ID, the face to their ID. Well, now we can do that with Zoom, especially like the lifetime mortgages. And we're sharing a screen and things like that. So I can show somebody around our sourcing system and produce the quotes there and then and email them over straight to the client. So it does make a big difference. And when you're talking on the phone, it's okay, but you can have your phone on speaker, or they can have their phone on speaker. But when you can actually have two people on your screen in front of you, and they're both listening to you, so yeah, it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. And I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, good. It's more of a captive audience, isn't it? Speakerphone stuff, you can half listen in and do something else, but you can see if they're like just looking away, going, "Oh yeah," you can see if they're actually paying attention or not. You've kind of used video as an extension to your personality and yourself, as if you were at an event. So how did you start using that? Do you find that resonates with people more? Particularly during the current time, the current challenging time that we're in at the moment.
I think certainly video, as you know, and I know, extremely powerful, extremely powerful. People get to see what's going on in the now. They're not seeing it as in, a video is produced behind the scenes. They're actually seeing, the hardcore, the raw person that's behind it. And I think it's something more businesses should use. Without a doubt, I think it's a big step. Don't get me wrong, to actually sit in front of a camera. You're a few miles down the road from where I am today, and we're talking. I'm literally just staring at a camera, and I've actually got a book just behind the laptop of Ant Middleton. I can actually see him peering at me the other direction as well. But it's certainly extremely powerful to be able to use video, and I think as well you can get pretty much instant engagement as well, especially on social media, because if you do a live broadcast or something like that, you've got people actually who follow you who will actually start and watch the video the minute you hit that button to say, I'm going to go live, and all of a sudden you've got people following you pretty much straight away. So I would recommend it again if people can get over the barriers they may find. I'm going to make a mistake. Who cares if you make a mistake? Just learn.
Yeah, that's right.
Keep learning as well.
Yeah.
It's all great taking a film and an idea and shooting it in London or New York or LA or somewhere amazing. What we wanted to do was put these guys in a real life environment where people don't know this goes on. People don't know that they're a hitman. You hear about it all the time. So where better to do it than in a seaside town that's shut in the peak? And, they're doing what they're doing. They're cleaning up a really bad mess. A bank job that the sinister and evil Mr. Mac, who wants these things done, in the film you see it, they fear him. He's a scary man. So where better to do it than where better to be seen and out in the open where nobody knows you. So it just fits it.
There, mate. It's fantastic. And it looks typically British, and I don't mean that. I don't mean that in a stereotypical way, but I mean the way that it's shot, the way the characters react to their environment, the way that they're placed in the environment. It feels very, very British, and I like that about it. I think you're right. There's no need to take a concept or an idea that is essentially British and move it to another part of the country for I don't know. For vanity reasons, I guess, really would be most reasons. So I think it really does show off the location really well.
There you have it, guys. Thanks so much for watching today. Hope you enjoyed that special edition episode where we just look back over the last 11 episodes. Some brilliant guests on there: a learning and development expert, a personal trainer, filmmaker, games collector, retro gamer, YouTube. But we've covered a really good range of guests, I feel, in the first 11 or so episodes. Thanks for supporting the Video Lowdown. Please do subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed this episode, and if you've enjoyed any of the full episodes with the guests as well. You can reach out to me on social media. It's at Jamie Ray Video across all social networks. Reach out to me, let me know if you like the podcast. If you don't, if you've got any suggestions for guests as well, that would be really cool. Do stay in touch, do connect with me, and maybe we can see you on the podcast one day. Thanks for watching.